Kakadosh Boker Or Shavua Tov Masechet Sanhadrin Daf Amud Aleph 5a1. We're going to start on the last line of Daf Daled Amud Bet Tanur Rabbanan. Okay, so the Rabbi is taught Tanur Rabbanan Dine Mamonot Bishlosha. All the halachot of Dine Mamonot are going to be with three judges. V'Imayam Mumche LaRabbim. Now, if the Chacham was going to be mefursam, and obviously he's an expert in these judgments, Dan Afilu B'Yechidi. So therefore, he's going to be done even Yechidi. Yeah, so he says, what does that mean exactly? So he comes and he says that as long as he's going to be an expert, even by himself, he could judge. Right? That's to do with if he's a baki. Amar Rav Nachman, says Rav Nachman, Kegon ana dan dine mamonot b'yechidi. I'm one of those people. I could judge by myself. Also. So Ibaelu. So they asked the following question. Kegon Anna, when it says, for example, me. Yeah? De gamidna vesavidna venakitna reshuta. Or we talk about that they learned, right, and they accepted the halachot and the dinim, and therefore they come and they understood it. Venakitna reshuta, they took reshut from the Rosh HaGolah to be done dinem mamonot. Aval lo nakid reshut, but if he doesn't ask permission, dino, he's not allowed to. Or din ma'afak the lo nakid reshut, dine dine, or no, even if he doesn't take reshut. So basically the question is, do you say that the most important is that he knows his stuff cold? Or do you say that he also needs to ask permission from the Rosh HaGolah to do so? It's like asking permission from the Rabbanut Rashi Yisrael today in order to do this or not. That's the question. Okay? So, Tashema, let's try to bring a proof. The Morzutra Rav Nachman dan dina v'ta'a. Rav Morzutra, the son of Rav Nachman, he was judging a judgment v'ta'a and he made a mistake. Yes. And Ata lekamed Rav Yosef, he came in front of Rav Yosef. Yeah, Elmaleh, he told him, in Kiblucha alayhu, if the Baalei Adin, they accepted you upon them, right? That means they accepted you, mamash, like you're the posek. Lo teshalem, you're not going to pay. But if they did not, zil shalem, go pay them. Shemamina, we learn from here, Kilo nakid reshuta dine dine, it's still going to be a din, right? There's still going to be enough kamina whether you have to pay or not, but it's still a judgment lefachot. Shemamina, that's what we learn. Okay? So clear. Meaning that at the end of the day, he said, if they accepted it, so then that's it. Meaning because right now, you're the single person. You're the single rabbi, the dayan. If the two people came, they accepted you as being their dayan, so then even though you made a mistake, you don't have to pay anything. Why? They accepted it. And therefore they said, you're the one that's going to judge us. And that's it. But if not, and you just came and you started judging, and technically speaking, you didn't get permission, so you should have gotten another two dayanim with you. So since you would have had to pay. But it's still a din. Meaning you didn't need to ask the permission. Meaning even without the permission, right? That's what he's saying. Afilu kilona kirishut, it's still a din. He would still have to pay, but it's still a din. So Amar Rav says, yeah. So says the Gemara, Amar Rav comes and he says, Hayman de bae lemidan dina. If somebody wants to be judging a judgment, v'ita mi bae lemiftara, and he wants to become patur if he makes a mistake in the judgment. So therefore, lishkol reshuta miberesh kaluta, ask for the reshut from the resh kaluta. And that's what Shmuel said. Lishkol reshuta miberesh kaluta, ask for the reshut, which means if you don't ask for permission, so therefore you have the liability. Nowadays they do this all the time. The doctors, what do? They make sure that they write a big disclaimer. They have to sign it, but it's not even a disclaimer. It's a huge thing, and they're telling you right over there that no matter what we're going to do, we could even kill you. But as long as you signed off, why? Because that's what they're doing. Yeah, exactly, 100%. Fine, let's go. So says the Gemara, Pshita, it's obvious, right? Mehacha lehacha umehatam lehatam mehane. Yeah, he comes and he says like this, right? He comes and he says like this. He says mehacha lehacha umehatam lehatam mehane. What does that mean exactly? He comes and he says from Bavel to Bavel, from Eretz Yisrael to Eretz Yisrael, it helps the reshut. Okay, to be poter. Umehacha lehatam, right? Also mehane, which means that it's pashut also that it helps from here to there, right? Dehacha shevet, vehatam mechokek. Because over here in Bavel, the Rosh HaGolah is called a shevet. Over there, he's called a mechokek, as it says in the pasuk lo yesu shevet miuda. These are the Rashei Galuyot in Bavel, the heads of the exile in Bavel. that they are rodinet Yisrael b'shevet, that they come and they take them with a makel, with a stick. Umchokek mi ben raglav. What does it mean that they're going to be mechokek mi ben raglav? Elu b'nei banav shel Hillel. That's Hillel Anasi. That they are nisi Sanhedrin shemelamdim Torah barabim. That they come and they teach Torah barabim. So mechokek is like a chacham. So therefore, since the Rosh Hagula is called a shevet, which is srara, it's like it's a position of power, and the nasi is called mechokek, which means like a lower muetet. So he comes and he says, so it comes out that the Tzradato of Rosh Hagula is even better than the Nasi. Okay, however though, yeah, mehatam lehachamai. Right, what does it mean now? Yeah, from there to here. What does that mean? So he says, obviously, we understand that it helps the Reshut from Eretz Israel to Bavel. No, that's what we think. So Tashema, the Rabbi Rachana Dandina V'ta. Rabbi Rachana, he came in Bavel and he made a mistake, and he made a mistake. He came in front of Bechia. Amaleh, he told him, if they accepted you, right, don't pay. If not, Zil Shalem, go pay. Rabbi Rachana, Reshut Avanakit, he had the Reshut already. He had the Reshut from Rabbeinu HaKadosh, from Yudanasi, to judge. So it doesn't help from there to here. Meaning, even though you had permission in Israel to judge, you do not have permission to judge in Bavel. Shma. So says the Gemara, what? Velo mehani? Are you going to tell me that it doesn't help? When Rabbi Ravuna came and he was arguing with the Resh Kaluta, he said, Amar, lav minaychu nakina reshuta. Right? I'm not taking a reshut from you guys. Nakina reshuta me'abba mare. I'm taking it from Ravuna. Right? So imagine, Rabbi Ravuna is coming and saying, I'm not taking it from the Resh Kaluta, I'm taking it from Ravuna. Ve'abba mare merav. And Abba Mare took from Rav, and Rav took from Rabbi, and Rabbi took from Rabbi, right? Which is Rabbeinu HaKadosh. So you see from here that he wanted to take it from the Kilu, the Nasi of Eretz Yisrael. He didn't want to take it from Bavel. It's like right now, you want to come and you want to take a permission. I'm not going to come and ask for permission from the rabbi here. I want the permission from the rabbi in Eretz Yisrael, which is a much higher authority. So answers the Gemara, Bemilta, de alma u de ukim lehu. Rabbi and Rabbi Ravuna were talking about Stam Dvarim Be'alma. Yeah, Stam Dvarim. So says the Gemara, so if right now it doesn't help, Rabbi Rachana Reshuta Denakalamali. So why is it then that Rabbi Rachana comes and he takes the Reshut? What does it help then? So he says, La'ayarot ha'omdim al gvulin. He was taking it for the cities which are on the boundary of Eretz Yisrael, and they go after Eretz Yisrael. And therefore, if he's going to judge there, he becomes patur. So it's actually something incredible. What's actually happening here is that if they have the permission to judge, one more time, if the guys come and they accepted upon themselves and that was the arbitrary by thing, so then for sure they're not going to pay, even though they made a mistake. But here, even if without that, if right now they had the permission from the Resh Kaluta, or again from Eretz, meaning that they had the permission that exempts them from liability. Okay, that's what we're learning until now. Okay. Now, however, though, here we're talking about Milta de Alma, right? Which means that Rabbi Muna is talking about Stam Dvarim, right? And therefore they're talking about the the Bnei V'tosh Rosh Hagula. But for sure, Minadin, it doesn't help the Reshut that he had in Eretz Yisrael and not in Bavel. So says the Gemara, so why does he have to take a Reshut then? If anyway it doesn't help. So he says it only helps for the cities which are on the boundaries. What is the Reshut? When he went into Bavel, Rabbi told to Rabbi, Benachi, right, which is Rabbi Barachana, Yoreh Bavel, is going to Bavel. Yoreh, says the Gemara, Yoreh. Yadin, Yadin. Everyone understood what happened. This is, by the way that we get Semicha. The way that we get Semicha nowadays is called Yoreh Yoreh or Yadin Yadin. Now, if you realize here, it's like a question. It's like Yoreh. Can you be posek halacha? Yoreh. Yes, you could. So when you become a rabbi, this is what they give you. They come and they're titled Yoreh Yoreh. Now, when you become a dayan, what are you going to be titled? Yadin Yadin. But it's a question. Yadin, can he judge? Answers, Yadin. We just call it Yoreh Yoreh Yadin Yadin. But it's like a question and answer that he could judge. Yatir bechorot, Yatir. If he has the reshut to come and start checking the animals for bechorot, yes, he's going to be matirotam. So so when he went down to Bavel, Elmaleh Ruchi al Rabbi, Menachoti Yoreh leBavel, Yoreh, Yoreh, Yadin, Yadin, Yatir bechorot al Yatir. That you can do. You cannot check the bechorot, but you could be Yoreh, You could be Adin. All those things, yes.
It says he can check for the firstborn.
Again?
Rav Chia wants to know if he can check, the boy can check firstborn. And Rabbi answered, yes, he can permit firstborn animals. You said no?
Where are you in the Gemara? Read what you just said.
Maybe I'm in the wrong spot.
No, so read again. When he went down to, when Rav went down to Babel?
I'm in the wrong spot.
Yeah, I think you are also. No, but I just want to make sure.
You continue. I'm going to try to find my spot.
Okay. So says the Gemara, Maishna lemor de kakari ben achi, umor Maishna lemor de kakari ben achoti. Why is one he's calling the son of my brother, and the other one he's calling the son of my sister? Now, v'chitim, and if you're going to tell me that was the case, that was just a story. One of the Rabbi Rechana, right, was his nephew because of his brother, and Rav was ben achoto, was the nephew because of his sister. The Amar Mor says, Aivu, v'chana, v'shila, umarta, v'rebichia, ulu bene abba bar acha, kar salamikafre avu. All of these people, these are 5 children, the children of, right, Karsela, right, which came from Kafre. So it comes out that Evu was the father of Rav, and Chana was the father of Rabba, which means both of them were brothers, meaning both of them are nephews, but not because of nephews, meaning a sister of, it was of a brother. Both of them came from the brothers. So answers the Gemara, Rav barachua dav barachate, Rabba barachana barachua delav barachate. Says Rav, he had ben achiv of Reb Chia, and also ben achuto, because his mother, right, the mother of Rav was the sister of Reb Chia, and she got married to Evu, right? So that's why he called him ben achuto also, because he was also ben achuto. Yeah, one more time. Fine. So to understand this Gemara, how do you have it that it's also kilu it's basically going to be ben achiv and ben achoto, meaning it's a nephew from both sides. But how does that work exactly? So he says like this. Listen, Abba bar Acha Karsela got married to 2 women. Remember, these are the children of Abba bar Acha Karsela. That's the name of the person. Okay. Now, who are the children? So Abba bar Acha Karsela got married to 2 women. The first marriage, he had Evu. That's what you have over there. You have over there Evu. Okay. Now Evu, you have there Ivu. That's one child. So now what happened is that the wife passed away, and he got married to another woman. The other woman already had a daughter that was called Ima from another marriage. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Evu and Ima, are they related? Nothing whatsoever. Not from the father or not from the mother. She had a completely different father and mother, and he had a completely different father and mother. Now, the parents just got married to each other. Fine. What happens is that they got married to each other. Ima ve'evu got married to each other, right? It was like a stepsister. It wasn't a half-sister, stepsister, 100% stepsisters. So it comes out that Rav, right, was born from this union of Evu with Ima. Okay, so therefore, Rav is ben achiv shel Rabbi Chia, because Rabbi Chia was ben achiv, the brother, and also ben achoto, of Rabbi Chia, right? So because I guess Rabbi Chia was born afterwards, obviously. So that's what it says over here. It says here, it comes out that Evu was the father of Rav, Hana was the father of Rabba. Both of them were the brothers of Rabbi Chia, right? So why do they call him ben achoto v'lo ben achi? So he says, Rav bar achua dava bar achte, Rav bar achua lo bar achte. Says Rav was ben achiv of Reb Chia and also ben achoto, because remember the mother, right, was the sister of Reb Chia as well, and she got married to Evu, and therefore they called him ben achoti, that it was also ben achoto. Rav bar Chana was only ben achiv, and he wasn't ben achoto. That's why he only called him ben achi, meaning one of them was from both, so he called them both ben achoto. The other one was only from the father. So he called him Ben Achiv. Okay? And if you want, you could answer another answer. Right? Daf Yomi bet 5b. Al Shem Chochmato. This is actually going back on the name, on the Chacham, that it was on Shem Chochmato. Rav was Chacham Bioter, but it says, Emor la Chochma Achotiyat. What does that mean, Emor la Chochma Achotiyat? Right? We know that the Ben Chochma is that kilu, it's my sister. There it's obviously hinting to the Shechina and everything, but it's ki'ilu, it's the sister. So therefore, that's why it says Emor lachokma achotiyat. The Gemara in Kiddushin, if I remember correctly, says that what's the pshat Emor lachokma achotiyat? That just like every single person knows that your sister is 100% prohibited to you, right? So to all of chokhmah should be like that. Meaning all the wisdom should be so clear to you that just like if somebody asks you, you'll have to get married to your sister, obviously not. So the same thing, they ask you a question like that. Like,
then you know you learned it.
Then you know that you learned it properly. Right? That's a Gemara in Kiddushin. Fine. So says the Gemara, Yatir Bechorot, Al Yatir. He's not allowed to be Matir Bechorot. Why not? My time, what's reasoning? If you're going to tell me that he wasn't smart, you just told me that he was very, very smart. So if you just told me now, right, that Rav was very, so why not? He wasn't an expert in Mumim. Rav says, he said, what are you talking about? But Rav himself said that he was 18 months by a shepherd in order to know whether he's a mum kavu or not. Yeah? Well, you're showing him a smicha? They have a graph? Yeah? So he says, imagine, he was 18 months by what? By how do you call this? By roe bema. He was there. He was by a shepherd trying to find out was a mum kavua, mum over. He says, Ela lachlok lo kavod Rabbi Chana. He says, no. You know why he didn't give him the permission? He wanted to give like the kavod to Rabbi Chana that ki'ilu that he was the only one that had the permission to come and to be matir bechoro. Meaning, really, be'emet, he was able to do it. But he wanted to give a special kavod to Rabbi Chana. You're the only one, meaning you've got exclusivity. You're the only one that could be matir bechorot. I can't say that you're the only one that's going to be judging or asking, paskening shelot or doing judgments. That no. But to do the bechorot, that was that yes, that everyone has to go to him. You understand? Everyone has to go to him. Viva itema, or if you want, you could answer.
Sure.
Yeah, mishumha gufei. Because of this itself, the Rav Bekiyat b'mumet fe, the shari b'mumet delo yedin. It's the exact opposite. Rav became such an expert in the mumim, he would permit mumim that other people didn't know about. The Amri, and they said, Ki gavna shari Rav, this is what the atel limisha mumuver, and then they would come and they would permit another mum as well. Meaning he was such an expert that if they would now come and put Rav to be paskening, he would permit it, and it's not that he made a mistake. The opposite. He knew better than everyone else. But the problem is, I'm the other guy on the Rav permitted, so you know what? It's permitted. And really, it wasn't permitted. But I just, Rav would permit it. He permitted even much more. So for sure. So because of that, they had to be much stricter in order not to fall. But not because of Rav, because of the other people. Okay? So says the Gemara, Yore. So says the Gemara, Igamir, Reshut Alam Nisha. 1 second. If the guy knows halachot, for example, the guy knows he learned Yisur Beter, why doesn't he need permission? Imagine right now, I come, I learn, I know it perfectly, cold. I still need a rabbi to tell me ki'ilu that I'm allowed to paskin? I know it perfectly. What's the problem? Says the Gemara, yes. You know why? Mishum Masechet. There was a story. What was the story? The time we learned on the right, Rabbi once went to a certain place, and he saw that they were coming, they were being megabel, they were kneading the dough betum'ah. He told them, what are you doing betum'ah? They said, Talmid echad ba lekan. He said, no, you're allowed to. He said, "Mei betzaim, mei agamim, waters of agam, right? And I can't read it. In matzmidim,
Marsh waters. Do not prepare food to contract.
And machshirin. Sorry, no, by me it's rubbed out. Yeah, and machshirin. Ochel lekabel tuma, meaning it's not going to come and it's not going to be machshir. No, I don't have it. It's rubbed out by me. It is rubbed out. And also the Tumul Umar above. Yeah? Talmid Echad, sorry. Talmid Echad. So he says, which means it's not going to make something susceptible for Tumah. Remember that in order for something to become susceptible for Tumah, you need Yad Shachatam. You need the 7 liquids. One of those liquids to come in contact with the water that willingly, meaning wanting it, you wanted that. And then it makes it susceptible for Tumah. So he says over here, Vehu made beitzim. Now that Talmid that he came, he said made beitzim that is shlo. He said made beitzim, which means if you're going to do it with made beitzim, not made bitzaim. Made bitzaim is agam water, marsh water from like a swamp. Here he understood it was made beitzim. The inu savur made bitzaim command. He thought it was made bitzaim. The tau nami beha, and they made a mistake because it says make ramion ume piga psulim. He says make ramion ume piga, which are the names of rivers, are psulim for mechatat. Because they're swamp waters. And they thought that it was midilagabe chatat psile, that since they're going to be pasul for mechatat, so too it's because it's not considered water. So to do nechashin legabel tuma, and therefore they said it's not mekabel tuma. Belohi, but it's not true. Hatam over there linyan chatat by mayim chayim. You need mayim chayim, which means it cannot. It's not swamp. You need a water which is flowing. It's mayim chayim kelkeli. Aval hacha, but here you just need lachshure. Lachshure is just to become susceptible. Kol hachi, right? Kol dehu demachshure. So Tana be'ota shagazud. From then on, they said Talmid al yorela imken otel shum rabo, that you have to come and you have to take permission from your rabbi. The rabbi is why? Because then what happens is that when the rabbi comes and he sees that it's not enough to just say you have to be meticulous in your words. Why? Because if you're not going to be meticulous in the words, people are going to learn the wrong thing from you. Right? They're going to learn the wrong thing from you. You don't know how many times you say something, then afterwards, yeah, the rabbi said. You come back, you're like, what? What did the rabbi say? Yeah, that's what the rabbi said. I never said something. Of course, you said ABC. Exactly. ABC. you took it the wrong direction. And I said, well, where are you going? So you have to be very meticulous in your words. Chachamim zeharu bedivrechem. Yeah, you have to be careful with your words. So therefore, that's why they had to ask for permission. Right? Fine. So says the Gemara, yeah, fine. So he says like this. So he says, Tanchum bered Rabbi Ami, ikla lachatar. So he came to Chatar. Darash lehu. So they went and they said, Mutal lilvot chitim bepesach. You're allowed to come and soak chitim on Pesach. Mamash, wheat, you're allowed to soak in a Pesach. They said, Lav bar mani teminsur ikacha. Says what? There's no Rabbi Mani benitzur that's found here. This is your rabbi. Etanya talmid al yoreh alecha bimkom rabo. Another alecha. Don't paskin in front of your rabbi. Right? Right? So therefore you're not allowed to. Why? Because if you have your rabbi there, what are you giving the psak now? So there's a few things here. One of the reasons of the Yisur is because it looks like chutzpah. Right? Klapei the rabbi. Another Gemara says that even minkom shem chutzpah, there's no Yisur mamash, but it's not fitting to do because it's not, he doesn't get siyata dishmaya to paskin correctly when basically he's, meaning that 100%, no, but that was moreh halacha lifnei rabo. Yes. 100%. So there's a whole question: is it considered chutzpah? Is it not chutzpah? So he says, "Amalehu." He said, "Lava datai." He says, "Atzedek imachem." But what? Lo samti lev that my rabbi is here. Meaning, I didn't know that my rabbi was here. That's why I give the psak. Right? So he was able. He went and he saw somebody in the bet hakvarot. Amaleh, he says, "Lav ben ishploni kohen." Are you not a kohen? What are you doing here? I thought you were a kohen. Amaleh, he said, "In yes, avu adu gavra." Right, the father of that person, right, Givai Naimava, was somebody that went after his eyes. Venatan enav begrusha, and he went and he put his eyes in his grusha. Vehilelo, he made him into a halal. Masechta, yeah, he made him into a halal, yeah, and therefore that's it. He's a halal from the kiuna, so therefore it's mutar for him to become metameh metim. Now Rabbi Chia was a tamid of Rabbi. Now, even so, he wasn't. Yeah, so he says over here, it's mutal tamid lorot imkom rabo when he's coming to be mafrishi surah, right? Because there it's not a hoda'ah. Meaning, here, how could he come and tell him what are you doing in the bet hakvarot? Right? He's being posek in front of his rabbi. So no, there you're being a frusha isura. Frusha isura means I'm separating you from doing isur. That I'm allowed to do. Meaning, if somebody's going to ask you, my rabbi's here, what are you asking me? But if I see you doing an Avirah, I can tell you, hey, what are you doing? You're not allowed to do that. That yes. Why? Because I'm separating you from doing an Isur. So says Ibn Pshita, obviously. So he says, Lepalga, to Merza, not for everything. Hakamar de Mahani al Tanai Mai. He says, okay, fine. You just said that it does help. Right? So he says, but what's the condition now? Right? He says, for example, let's say he gets permission for 1 year, 2 years. So what's halacha? So Tashema Dama le Rabbi Yochanan le Rav Shemen, Hareata bishutenu at shetavo etzlenu. He says like this. He said, when they separated from him, he says that a shoot is given to you to judge until you come back. Meaning it comes out that even on tonight, that means they could give you a condition, right? Every 6 months or whatever, you have to come back or whatever, you have the condition. Yes. So Gufa Amar Shmuel Shnaim Shedanu Dinem Din and Shikru Ben Chatzuf. We said also the same thing. We said that when you have two people that are going to come and they're going to judge, right? It's a bet din chatzuf, but it is a judgment. It's a bet din chatzuf. Yeah. So Yativ Rav Nachman. So Rav Nachman comes, right, and he asked. So he says like this. He says, "V'kama lashmaitai." So he said, "Eitvei Rav Nachman." So he asked Rav to Rav Nachman. He says, אפילו שניים מזכים או שניים מחייבים ואחד אומר אני יודע. Even if you have two people that are saying yes, that it's good, it's going to be zakai, two people are going to be chayav, and one of them that says, any yodea, I don't know. Yosifu adayanin, right? You just add another one. Because basically, since the other one said, I don't know, meaning he abstained. I think that's the word. No, he abstained. Meaning that they don't say, no, yes, no, they abstained. So what happened? Add. If not, then it's going to become like two people that are judging. So he says, no, Shanatam different over there. The Mikara Adaita Ditlata Yatzve. There they did have three. Right? The Hacha here, Lava Daita, but they didn't have three at the beginning. Meaning if they had three and then one abstained, so that's completely different than having two and then that's it. Be judging up either two. That's for sure. Okay, so eight Rashbag. Right? Rabbi Shimon Gamliel Omer, Hadin Bishlosha. Upshara Bishnayim. Judgments have to be done with three dayanim. A pshara, you know what pshara is? Compromises, right? Or with two. Do you know that pshara is better than din? Because when you have two people that are judging, they can retract on the judgment. But shnayim shasu pshara em baalei adin, right? יכולים לחזור בהם. They cannot come and they cannot be חוזר בהם. Okay, and then the Gemara is going to continue with that Hashem.